Talk about the big gainers and losers in the day's trading session.
Certainly, Krishna. So among the top gainers in the blue chip pack was Larsen and Toubro. Now Larsen and Toubro touched a record high level. It broke past the 3,000 mark. Now the trigger for the stock today was that UBS has raised a target price on the stock from about 3,040 to 3,600 rupees, which implies an upside of about 20% or so from today's closing. So that was a major trigger for the stock. And even if you see, the stock has been one of the outperformers this year. It has rallied about 44% year to date. In fact, in the last month or so, it has rallied about 10% or so. And its share buyback plan, which kicked in earlier this week, was also fully subscribed. They are buying back about 10,000 shares or so from the market, and it was fully subscribed. We saw good retail participation. So L&T is one of the stock that has been trending upwards slowly and steadily. Now Bharti Airtel was another stock that was in the news today, and in fact it was among the top gainers. Bharti Airtel rose about 1.17% in today's trade. Now this was on the back of Bharti Airtel adding 15.2 lakh new users in July compared to 14.1 lakh users back in June. Now another gainer was ONGC. The stock was up 0.5%, and we are seeing in today's session we saw a rally in most oil stocks. ONGC was one, HPCL was another one. Now this was on the back of a surge in crude prices, which bodes well for upstream company as it improves their revenue guidance and profitability visibility.
Right.
Now another stock was Coal India. Coal India was up about 0.46%. The stock is at a near a 6 or 7 year high currently. Power Grid Corporation also gained about 0.4%. This was on the back of expectations that the stock will get a lot of passive flows since NSE rejig is to take place today, and expectation is that Power Grid Corporation will see a lot of passive inflows from the stock. Now among losers, Krishna, was Tech Mahindra. Tech Mahindra was down about 4% in today's trade. Now as we were talking about, IT pack overall came under pressure, but Tech Mahindra took the worst hit. The stock was down, and in fact if you look at the past 5-6 days, the stock has been on a run up. In fact today it broke a 4-day winning streak, so perhaps we are seeing some sort of a profit booking taking place there. Another stock which was down today was Asian Paints. Asian Paints fell over 3.5%. Now this was on the back of surge in crude prices, which is a major raw material for most paint companies. LTI Mindtree fell about 3%. Mahindra and Mahindra saw some profit booking taking place. It was down 2%. Wipro was also down 2% in today's trade.
Right. Both the Mahindra stocks, M&M and Tech Mahindra, they have run up in the recent past, and consolidation or profit booking, you would say, in both the Mahindra stocks, Suyash.
Exactly, that's what's playing out, Krishna, because the stocks were rallying at least in the past month or so. Mahindra and Mahindra, as we are seeing, there's some pressure because of the FIR that was filed, and Tech Mahindra also stock which was seeing a bit of a run up has also seen some profit booking taking place. But the the trend that we are picking up today is that most IT stocks saw some correction.
Absolutely.
And it seems that the view is largely divided on the IT pack.
Then takes us back to Shahina. Then a very good point. That's Suyash. We've been talking about Shahina. Look at the day's trading session. That's emblematic of what's been happening with the IT pack. You have the biggest loser, that's Tech Mahindra. You also have Wipro. Tell us, your own view of what exactly is happening with these IT stocks.
Well, see, most of the large IT stocks have over 50% of their revenues coming in from US market actually. And if you see what is happening in the US market is that, and largely BFSI. Largely, there is a slowdown both in terms of the deals that these companies are signing, as well as a large part of the hiring or new orders, they're doing it locally, in the US market. So there is a bit of a slowdown in overall growth for the large IT companies. Also, the margins have seen a bit of a dip, and some of the large IT companies, like for example, Infosys, they have been actually bringing down their guidance quite substantially, and the growth for this year, this full FY24, is expected to be subdued because of all these reasons. So, to that extent, the overall IT, which I would say should be part of your long-term portfolio, is seeing has actually not been part of many funds. It's not been a large part of their portfolio as of now. So to that extent, they may use this opportunity for the next couple of months to slowly chip in and buy some of IT stocks and some of the large ones, not expecting anything major in terms of earnings for the next couple of quarters. So to that extent, I think retail also can start buying slowly some of the large IT companies, because they are definitely good companies to hold in your long-term portfolio. But you don't need to rush in and buy now. You have all the time in the world. Take the next couple of months and add.
All right, so yeah, isn't it interesting, isn't it? The entire sea of red accounts, all sectors. IT pack only is the only sector that is down more than 2%. All of the sectors are down anywhere from 0.5% to 1.5%, 1%. But IT pack is the biggest of all losers even today.
Yes, and as Shaheen also pointed out, that a lot of revenue that these companies generate comes from US, and we are seeing a turmoil brewing in the US economy. In fact, JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon recently said that US could be facing a stagflation sort of a situation.
Right.
We are hearing talks about a government shutdown in the US.
Right.
So a lot of headwinds for the global markets, especially for the US and European markets, given that interest rate regime is also expected to stay. Interest rates are expected to stay higher for longer, and perhaps we can see another rate hike coming in November. So a lot of pressure building in the global market, especially for the US, China, and other European stocks. Now, talking about stocks, Shahina, L&T is one that has outperformed, has exceeded market expectations. Largely, the stock was also up about 2% or so in today's trade on the buy call from after UBS raised the target price. How do you see the stock after the recent run up? Would you still recommend perhaps adding position in the stock?
Well, I think I would prefer for it to cool down a bit, because the 3,200, the buyback price, I mean, it closed on September 25th, recent. So to that extent, this rally has, of course, to an extent been on back of that. Not to say that the sector is back in limelight, because of course L&T has got huge orders, and its order book position is good. They're doing well both in the Middle East markets as well as domestic. The order pipeline is strong. So to that extent, it's a good buy. But at the same time, if you're a new investor and you're looking to buy L&T, I would just wait for maybe a week or two, let the market overall settle down for L&T after the buyback, and then you can look to add it to your portfolio.